We continue at Fantasy Football Weekend. It's Family Fun Day here at Monmouth Park. And, well, it's Family Fun Day for us, too. So joining me now, it's our own Michael Cardano's son. Michael Cardano's here. What's going on, Mike?
Nothing much. I'm happy to be here. Great event.
Yeah, it's gonna be super. It's gonna be super fun. And, well, I just found out from your dad you're a Panthers fan, and you have an interesting story on how that happened.
Well, my dad was a Jets fan, and first game I actually got into, 2003, Carolina Panthers versus New England Patriots. Dad absolutely hates the Patriots. I went with the other team, and I liked how the first three initials on the bottom are the same as my last name. So
of course.
I got into that.
Well, the obvious question here is then, what do we think of the Panthers this year? We were just talking with a listener here that loves Devin Funchess this year, and he better love Devin Funchess with Kelvin Benjamin out for the year.
Right.
He's a big Funchess guy. He's a rookie. He's raw. It's all that stuff. The same thing we heard with Kelvin Benjamin last year. That's what we have with Funchess now. You're a Panthers fan. You conceivably know more about the topic than I would. What do we think of Devin Funchess?
Well, I like his production this year. You know, you got Greg Olsen getting possibly double-teamed because he's really their only veteran option.
Yep.
They do have Jericho Cotchery.
75-year-old Jericho Cotchery.
Right. You know, Corey Brown, I mean, he's been disappointing this preseason.
It's crazy. With Philly Brown, Corey Brown now,
Yeah.
I watched him last year, and I just remembered he was catching some passes deep. He was returning, and every single time he returned the ball, he dropped it.
Right.
Every time. So then I was like, this guy has talent. Cam kind of likes him. He targets him. And now, once Kelvin Benjamin goes down, everybody's talking about Philly Brown naturally because Cam liked him. And what did he do in the preseason? He dropped every single ball that was thrown to him.
Exactly.
Does this guy just stink? Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe he's lost confidence or something. Sophomore slump. I
Right.
don't know.
Right. So, because of the injury to Kelvin Benjamin and because of the lack of wide receiver depth there, which has been a problem now for the last couple of years, are you downgrading Cam Newton in fantasy?
I am. Mostly because they're now going to have to rely on the run game. They do have Jonathan Stewart. They drafted Cameron Artis-Payne.
Yep.
But their offensive line still isn't looking that solid. So it's going to be a bad year, I feel, for the team and Cam fantasy-wise as well.
Well, you know, it's Cam Newton has seemingly... You're either a Cam Newton guy or you're not. I'm assuming you're a Panthers guy, so you're probably a Cam Newton guy.
Yeah.
And when it comes to fantasy, I'm not on board with Newton
Right.
just because his unbelievable rookie year where he rushed for 10 touchdowns, he threw for 1 million touchdowns, he threw for 4,000 yards. That was like 4 years ago already. And I know time flies, but like that was a while ago. And the thing with my quarterback is that it's like with Newton, if he's not scoring that 1-yard touchdown plunge, which he was so good at the first 2 years of his career, I don't know what I can count on him for. He's not going to be a guy this year anymore, seemingly, that's going to throw for 400 yards consistently. You're not getting Aaron Rodgers numbers, not that I'm asking for that, but I don't know if you're getting Tony Romo numbers, and that's where Cam Newton kind of falls for me. So I'm on the other side where a guy like you, I get it. Newton's going to run for more yards than Tony Romo, Eli Manning combined easily. So from a fantasy perspective, there's reason to like it. But there's also, like I said, my side, and I'll let you argue your point in a second. From my side, it's just, there's too many question marks.
Right. You know, like you said before, the 1-yard touchdowns, they're actually talking about getting Mike Tolbert more involved this year.
Bowling ball!
So, yeah. So he's going to have those goal line opportunities.
So if he's going to have the goal line opportunities, then is there a reason to draft Jonathan Stewart?
Personally, I don't like him this year. I don't.
So if you don't like him, why should I like him?
I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling this year. I don't know.
You hate this team this year. It's very clear.
I like the defense. Their secondary is improved, but that fantasy, that's not.
Well, the Carolina defense is actually a defense that I drafted last night.
Okay.
Playing Jacksonville week 1. We talked a lot today about the Jacksonville Jaguars, and yes, they should be a little bit better than last year. And I think a lot of people are kind of picking the Jaguars to upset the Panthers in week 1. They see that as one of those upsets you can see in week 1. But I picked the Panthers defense because Luke Kuechly's pretty good, so I figured they could be good. How many fantasy leagues are you in, Mike?
I'm in 2.
You're in 2.
Yeah.
And or any of them with your father?
No.
Why? Does he not invite you?
No, it's not that. I don't know. I want to stay away from him.
You stay away from him. Do you follow his fantasy advice?
No.
How come? Because like people around the country follow his advice.
Perfect example last year,
hear
actually. All right. So I had this. I think it was in 4th place. Last week of the regular season. I need to win this game to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Kid offers me Emmanuel Sanders and Delaney Walker for Antonio Brown. Now, I did have Odell Beckham, Kelvin Benjamin, and Jordy Nelson also.
How many teams are in this league?
14. Please don't ask me how. Beckham was a waiver wire pickup.
Okay.
I asked him. He said, do it. I said, okay. Nope. Delaney Walker got hurt in the game, whatever. Had pulled hamstring, and Sanders had like...
He said, give Antonio Brown away for that?
I just went with his word. I assumed...
You're like, I watch this guy's
videos. He's the fantasy expert.
Corey Parson, the producer of the Roto Experts in the Morning, said, do it.
I guess so.
That is a disaster.
It is.
You know what? I understand you wanted an outside perspective because when you're involved, you kind of get attached to the players. And you gave away Antonio Brown for Delaney Walker and who?
Emmanuel Sanders.
Ugh, this is garbage. Who's your tight end?
Oh, my tight end actually was Jordan Reed, who got hurt.
Obviously, because he's always hurt.
And then I think I picked up Michael Rivera on the waiver wire. It was
you needed
streaming every week.
You needed a tight end.
Yeah, right.
But giving away Antonio Brown for garbage is probably not your best move.
I was thinking about it because I had such good receiver depth.
Right.
And my running backs were not producing because I drafted Adrian Peterson first round, and I had Ahmad Bradshaw. So they were both gone for the year, and... So, it was a disaster.
Being that you're a Panthers fan, obviously your father is a Jets fan. Do you root strongly against the Jets, or do you?
No.
You're like, I'm cool with the Jets.
No, I'm cool with them. I can't stand the Patriots. So
really, so basically you root. So if your dad's rooting for the Jets, he's sitting there watching the Jets. You'll root for him.
I will.
There's no effect on your team.
I will.
Obviously.
I will.
Why do you hate the Patriots? Because they always win.
It's not even, just like the controversy that's always in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I'm a big believer in Tom Brady did deflate the footballs, but
it doesn't matter. I mean, Chris Dolman, I know, feels very strongly about this. For me, I almost feel like it's like baseball where like everyone's kind of just messing with the ball and their pitchers are all using pints or whatever, you know. And then with football, like the quarterbacks, how they like it. Is that going to make Julian Edelman catch a pass better? I don't know. To me, it's just nothing. And we suspended a guy 4 games for that?
To be honest, I don't think it's a big deal, but the fact that there's always a problem in that organization,
that's the issue.
Spygate, all that stuff.
Yep.
I don't know, something's wrong there.
That's definitely the issue. Okay, you're in 2 leagues, you said.
Yeah.
Have they drafted yet?
One I have and one I haven't.
Okay, so the one that you drafted in, what pick did you have?
What's up?
What pick did you have in the draft?
Oh, the first pick.
You had first overall. What'd you go with?
I went with Eddie Lacy.
You went Eddie Lacy. Okay, that's a name we don't hear often. We did see it happen yesterday in the Flex League here at Monmouth Park. Why Eddie Lacy over AP, Antonio Brown? Why Eddie Lacy?
Well, I figured that I needed a running back first and foremost because receivers last year I realized I can't really hang with the top teams if I don't have a solid running back.
As you saw with your wide receivers last year, they were unbelievable.
Right. And Antonio Brown, you know, it was tough to pass on him, but I did want a running back first round.
Okay, so why Lacy over AP?
You know, I took the Jordan Nelson injury actually into consideration.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, I think Bridgewater's going to do good, but I think he might be throwing the ball a little bit more, even though Rodgers still has solid weapons, but I think Lacy will be more productive.
Okay, and then so you went with the running back here. This is the 14-team league?
No, this is actually a 10-team league.
Oh, that changes everything.
Yeah.
So which wide receivers did you wind up with?
I think I ended up with A.J. Green.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It was a serpentine, I think, so like I had the last pick in the second round.
Right, of course. It snaked, and then A.J. Green, Eddie Lacy, it's a pretty good start.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you. Good luck in your second draft coming up.
Thank you.
And just remember, never take your father's advice when it comes to fantasy sports. Well, the other things, take his advice. But when it comes to fantasy football, I suggest not.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. We'll be right back. It's family fun weekend. We got family here. We have friends. We have fun. Stick around at Monmouth Park on the Fantasy Sports Network. We continue right out.